Has a 750 because we help them build his or her credit up. Add them on to my company. We're going to go now and create what's called an operating agreement. And now we can take my business partner's great credit, my company that I own, create an operating agreement. But then on the operating agreement, we're going to put that credit partner owns 90% of the company. Now, some people, they may be like, well, why do they own 90%? It's all about what? What's the S word? It's about strategy. Just because they own 90% on the paper, that doesn't mean they get 90% of the profits. See, this is why we need to understand business. You can own 0% of the company and get 100% of the profits. How many people know that? It's not about the percentage that you own for your profit margin. It's about what's on that operating agreement that you guys have an agreement on. So now the operating agreement is strictly just so nobody else gets access to this but the bank. So we're going to take the great partner's credit. We're going to take the LLC, we're going to take that operating agreement, and now we can take this individual or this entity to any bank and go after and get the revolving credit. So if your credit is not in position right now, does that stop you from getting access to what we call the bank's money? Does it? Does it? Absolutely not. So this is the money that we're lacking as business owners. Is it the credit? Because guess what? All credit can always be rebuilt, restored, and repaired. And how many people actually believe that? You can have a bankruptcy and still rebound. Because how many people know bankruptcy is just asset protection? Anybody know that? It doesn't mean you're broke. It does not mean that you're broke. You're protecting your assets. Because even in the event if you have to file bankruptcy, one of the things I normally only recommend people file bankruptcy for if their wages are being gone. Because your wages are your what? Your assets. Your wages are your assets. Y'all learned something here today so far? Sure? Alright, make sure if you're streaming this, that you're hashtagging, you're recording, all that good stuff, live stream, make sure you're liking, sharing, all this good content. And so, I think we're about to bring up our next guest here for a second. Say that one more time. Okay, so the king said if you have an LLC and one person has good credit, the other person has bad credit, what do? That's where you create an operating agreement. Because with that operating agreement, the person who has the great credit score, on paper, you make them 90% owner of the company. Because the banks will not ask for anybody who has 15% or less of the company. They don't pull their credit report. That's a strategy. That's game. That's game. Now y'all want to listen on this side. I'm going to just go over here, all right? So, you have one person that has good credit. Good credit. This person has bad credit. With the now, let's say you have an LLC partnership. That means both of you guys are on a company, and let's say originally you did 50-50. So what you want to do is you want to create an operating agreement. And you can actually pull a standard one off the internet. It doesn't have to be one you got to go and pay a bunch of money for. On that operating agreement, it basically determines what the duties are of each individual partner. And so on there, you want to put down that the primary person of that LLC, which is the person who has great credit, owns 90% of that company. Only on paper. The person whose credit is being worked on or that's challenged at the time owns 10%. Because the banks will not request a credit report for anybody that owns 15% or less of the company. So then when that's the case and you go to the bank, now you can go and get the bank's money. Did that help y'all, King? All right, let's one more question. Yes, sir. Oh, you good? Okay. All right, so is that good so far, y'all? Yeah. I feel like y'all still getting fed? Yeah. So we bringing that financial soul food for y'all here. All right, so next person I want to bring up is somebody who's definitely near and dear to me. I always call her my big little sister because she's like a big sis. You know, I call her up, get advice all the time, and she's just been a breath of fresh air for us here at the J. Morrison Academy because we're all family. And so not only is she an actress, but she is the most viral poet in our generation. Y'all didn't catch that, did y'all? She is the most viral poet in our generation. So I need everybody to stand up for this one. And give a round of applause so loud that they took it from the stool. So I'm going to bring up Miss Queen Ernestine.
Spin that shit and get it right back. No, how about buy some land, build that shit and lead the pack. Or invest that shit and watch it stack. Watch it rack, watch it make your money back. Like double that, triple that. I'm trying to show you the format of how the rich get wealthy and stay wealthy. How they keep their pockets healthy and stay healthy. I'm trying to give you the cheat sheet of how a group of like-minded individuals came together to build the whole Black Wall Street. Like, here's the formula. That same bag of weed you buy every day is $20 a day, times 7 days a week, times 4 weeks a month, times 12 months a year. That's $6,720. That's 3% down on a $200,000 house. And in case you were unaware, it only takes 3% down to purchase a whole home. That's something you own. That seeds you've watered, planted, grown, and sown. See, when you have a strategic plan, you won't ever have to call anybody landlord because you'll be the lord of your land. See, we need to stop this generational curse and build generational wealth. We need to stop this generational curse and build generational wealth. We need to stop strictly being consumers while working backwards and digging a ditch and making everybody else's family rich. Like, pop quiz. How do you know what a WCW means and you don't know what ROI is? Or your FICO score is? See, our relationship with finances need to get way stronger. Like, we need to build a way better rapport. Like, you cute and all, but I'm going to need you to know your credit score. Like, how many of y'all have money in stock? Sorry, guys. How many of y'all own a piece of the rock? See, as a people, we need to set way higher financial goals and have more power and control. We need to know less about sports and own more houses and stores. Own some shit you can really call yours. Cause newsflash, it ain't really your hood if you don't own no doors. Come on now. Sorry, guys. Sorry. See, this tainted system we live in is own or be owned. You can buy or be loaned. And you can listen to these words or not. I'm just trying to get you to see the power of buying back the block. Thank you. You guys, we are so grateful when you guys show up. Listen, everybody who's in attendance today, these are the people in your city that you want to meet. These are the change makers. These are the people who are trying to build generational wealth. You guys are the ones who try to build legacies for your families. Everybody needs to leave here with 2 and 3 and 4 numbers. Meet your next business partner. Meet the next person that God put here to align you with. That's what this is all about. This is more than real estate, business, and credit. This is about building a legacy. So I'm happy to see all these beautiful black and brown faces out here. So I wrote that poem by Dr. Watt. I've been traveling with my husband, Morrison, for the last 2 years on this corner class tour. We're swimming up on this game. And I said, I got to put this in a poem because that's what I do best. So I got to share my gift and put everything that I'm learning in the poem, get it back to the people. So before I bring up our next guest, I'm going to leave y'all with one more poem because this is the spirit of black and brown love. I believe that we cannot nation build until we can community build. And we cannot community build until we can relationship build. And that relationship starts with us, with me and you, with husbands and wives, with daughters and mothers and sons and fathers. So that is how we are going to understand right tonight as a people. Fix, mend, repair, and restore our relationship. So in the spirit of black and brown love, I will leave you guys with this. Excuse me, sir. I often wonder, if I was hopelessly hanging from a cliff, would you reach your arm out to save me? If I was desperately gasping for air, staring in the face of death, would you press your brown lips against mine and bless me with one last breath? Or have they made you completely forget about me? Black man, I'm speaking to you. Because it seems that over the years you've lost your love for us, but your love for them grew. But let's not forget, the darker the berry, the sweeter the juice. And it's not that she can't love you, it's just that black man, I was made for you, sculpted by the hands of God to love, feed, nurture, protect, and compliment you. And there is no ands, ifs, buts, or maybes. It was the black woman's breast milk that even fed the master's baby. You were young and fell and scraped your knee. It was your mother who was there to tend the stitches and fix your britches. See, the black woman has always been the black man's saving grace, but somewhere between L'Oreal commercials, tanning salons, lip injections, and ass shots, you've put us on a cultural rat race, leaving us with just enough fucking self-esteem for us to chase. Chase a dying breed of a man that's running so far and fast from home. We feel the need to pick up the pace, spewing words of vulgarity, calling us every name in the book. But the Bible says unto a woman, a man is supposed to speak life. The Bible says the man that's found a good thing is the man that's found a wife. But you freely spit these words of obscenity, robbing us of our royal grace. How could you call a black woman a bitch and go home with your mama? And society would have you thinking the grass is always greener on the other side, but trust and believe when shit hits the fan, the bounce in her hair won't stop her from walking you in those papers straight to chase. And on that we can bank. Black man, let me help you. The grass is greener where you water it. The more you water, the purer the fruit. And if you study the origin of your true history, you'd be watering at the root, cause mass media won't educate you on your royal oats. They'll have you thinking our history started, we were shipped over in those boats, and they want to make you forget about black queens like Amina, the queen of Zaria, Candace, the empress of Ethiopia, the queen of Kemet, Nefertiti. See, those are the faces you would never see on TV. And black men don't think shit changed, because ain't shit changed since the 60s. They doing everything but wearing white hoods, burning down churches and flags every chance they get, though Kim, Courtney, and Chloe will ask. And I cried tears as I wrote these words, and I'm standing here open like king. What about me? What about your queen? Don't let these false images of society make you run. There are still good black women out here walking fresh out of the pages of Proverbs 31, and we are crying out like I'm all you need. I'll sew the thread, I'll bake the bread, I'll keep you mentally, spiritually, emotionally fed. Black man, I will pull greatness out of you. I'm preparing myself for the day, like the Bible says, you leave your mother and father, and we become one. I would happily give you your first son. We'll be a great team, and we'll do things like, I'll teach him how to tie his shoes, and you teach him how to drill the screws, and I'll make us all dinner, and you can just do the dishes. But mass media has convinced you to need 2 chains and need 2 bitches. Oh. But just like your mama when you fall, I'ma always be here to tend the stitches and fix your britches. And my soul grows weary and my heart sometimes stings, because through all the trials and tribulations, every inch of my body still believes the black man is king. And in case you didn't hear me, yes, the black man is king, and I'll bow down at his presence. And I believe God cut me from his rib so I can mirror his essence. Black man, take care of it, and it will take care of you. Take care of home. Treat your woman like a precious stone, with clean hands and a clean heart. Touch her soul. Thank you. Y'all ready to learn something today? I wasn't loud enough. Y'all ready to learn something today? All right, man. Today, I think my husband, Jay Morrison, is going to set it off. He is feeling good today, so I can't wait to see what he brings. But before that, I have the absolute pleasure of introducing a man who has been embedded in the fabric of our culture for over 3 decades now. You've seen him on the movie screens and the TV screens, actor, philanthropist, activist, and dabbles. Been in this real estate game for a decade now as well as a developer, and he's developing right here in his city, right here from the Bronx. I need everybody to give a round of applause for Malik Yoba!
They love to love you when you black like me. They love to hate you when you black like me. Love the music when you black like me. Try to abuse you when you black like me. Say what? They love to love you when you black like me. What? They love to hate you when you black like me. What? They love your music when you black like me. Try to abuse you when you're black like me. Repeat. They love to love you when you black like me. What? They love to hate you when you black like me. What? They love your music when you black like me. Yeah. Try to abuse you when you're black like me. Now check it. Born in the South Bronx. What do I want? I want to build buildings. I ain't gonna front. This is a freestyle. I'ma keep it crisp. Just like that, you couldn't imagine this. Bring it to the block where the dude sold rocks. That's what I said. I was a TV cop. Top to the bottom and now to the top. Ball for the bottom. One word. Please repeat. Intention. Intention. We all had the same intention. And divine forces gather us today so that the fertile state of our mind and our soul may receive the blessings of our ancestors. They dreamt about this day. I'm here today through intention. I was in LA not too long ago, and I'm on Instagram and I follow this dude named Morrison. And I see that he had just done a corner class in LA. And I was in LA on some other business, but I DM him. I'm like, yo, King, where are you? He's where most black people go in LA. Roscoe's Chicken Waffle. Y'all already knew. So I said, I'm coming to you right now. I dropped everything I was doing. I jumped in my rental and went to meet him at Roscoe's Chicken and Waffle. And we talked about the fact that I had seen a post that said he was coming to the Bronx. I'm from the Bronx. I got my name on the street right around the corner, 159th Street. For y'all that don't know, the Bronx Walk of Fame, look up toward the sky because that's where we are. It's better than the Hollywood Walk of Fame because they step on you. But in the Bronx, you can walk with your head held high. You can call people like Ruben Diaz Jr. and say, yo, Ruben, I want to do a corner class on these steps. What do I need to do? Because to do anything in the real estate game, part of it's political, so we have to have those relationships. And I said, I want to bring my man to the Bronx, to this location, right around the corner from my name. And that means a lot to me to be honored by the people who look like me because I represent you in every film, every TV show, everything I do. And in fact, these cameras are mine. So you are now the star of Turn Toward the People. You are the star of your own movie. So I have passions. And one of those passions is working with young people. Since I was 16 years old, I made it my business to work in after-school programs and tutor kids. By 19, I was working in 13 high schools across New York City, helping to reduce the dropout rate. Before TV and film, I was in the community. I stay in the community. I can't ever stop because all of my blessings come from being of service. And so this isn't a Hollywood thing, even though I have cameras here. I've been working on a documentary called I Build New York. Intention. To do my first real estate development deal in the city I'm from. Intention. I started in Baltimore 11 years ago because there's people that look just like us that don't have the resources that they need. Intention. And so when I saw Jay in LA, I said, I know you're coming to New York. We have to do this thing together. I would love for you to participate in this doc series called I Build New York, which is giving people game. And just like when Robert Smith forgave the debt, where? Y'all don't know? Somebody said, oh no, y'all don't know today. Are y'all serious? Do y'all know who Robert Smith is? Who forgave the college debt at Morehouse University, Morehouse College. Vista Partners. Look him up if you don't know. A black man just a couple of years older than me, billionaire, forgiving the debt of more people that are standing on these steps. Intention to be the manifestation of the dreams of our ancestors to say that we can be free if we understand the things we need to think about. A lot of us are playing checkers and we need to play chess. That's what this is about. So applaud yourself for coming out because you didn't have to. But clearly there is a need and a desire in the community for this information. And so as I move through New York City with this intention of doing something called I Build New York, which tracks my story about doing my first development deal in New York. And then introducing the world to all kinds of heroes and sheroes like Majora Carter on Hunts Point Ave, the Boogie Down Bronx Cafe, or my people at Bistro and the Lit Bar on Alexander Avenue. The people who are in our community that look like us, that are making moves that we need to see. I can't tell you how many people became cops because of New York Undercover. Facts. Facts. How many men came up to me and said, Malik, I love the role you play on TV as a father. It helped me be a better father. Facts. We growing up without our daddies. But my daddy told me to own something. My daddy told me build your own generator so when they turn off the power, you still have lights. Right. Intention. I love the energy and the reciprocity that we're feeling, that you show up for a man you might not have even known. That's going to drop jewels. I'm going to say one last thing about this dude before I bring him up. Right after we met, I land back in New York. A broker tells me about a $5 million property in Brooklyn that's off market. I said, I want to buy it. 10 units. 4 rent stabilized. I don't have $5 million laying around. So I called Jay. I said, yo, let's put this talk into action. Here's the deal. Here are the specifics. Here's the NOI, that's the net operating income. This is the cap rate. That's the percentage of money essentially that we can make off this investment. We run numbers. We talk about how we can put a syndicate together, which means we can gather some folks that look like us, that got some dough, and say we can do this thing together. At the same time, the rent bill just passed in New York State, literally that same week, which essentially puts the power back in the hands of the people. I don't know if y'all realize what happened with this rent bill. It means that landlords just can't hike up your rents and kick you out. So those rent stabilized units in the building that I wanted to buy, I could never bring to market rate. So that $5 million no longer made sense as an investment. 3.5 made sense. I counted the offer, the owner didn't want to budge. But that's the type of move that this dude is about. He's not about talk, he's about action. We are all about action. We are about intention. I'm losing my voice, so I'm gonna shut the fuck up. And I'm gonna introduce you to the founder of the J. Morrison Academy, Mr. J. Morrison.
Bronx, what up? BX, what up? And a big round of applause for Malik Yoba, my son, the General Will Brown Street, Isaac Frank, Mr. Ernestine Morrison. And a bigger round of applause for every single one of you that came out intentionally to get this game. Give it up for yourself. We grew up selfish and savage, almost classless. Selling drugs to our aunts and uncles was like a rite of passage. But now we own assets, black-owned schools, historic real estate funds. We call it black magic. No more drug traffic. I put away childish things, adopted some new habits. No more saying nigga and bitch. Man, we past that. We call ourselves kings and queens. No more slave talking. We ain't blown cash on new shiny things. We call it sleepwalking. This the elevation of the culture, but y'all only respect rappers though. I made millions without rapper sports as far as trappers go. I did it the best without rapper sports as far as I know. If it ain't me, I salute the king. No more ego. No more crabs in the bucket, my king. Like Hov said, we off that. If you the one leading our people, shit, I fall back. I fall in line. Like a soldier, I own mine. We gotta kill that pride and division. It's about time. We unite around one common vision until we all shine. And put our self-interest aside until we all climb. Thank you. That right there started out as a note in my iPhone. All facts. I grew up selfish and savage. I started selling drugs at 15 years old. I literally sold crack and heroin to aunts and uncles. Sold crack to my biological father. Classless. But now I say now we own assets. I'm talking about the ex-corner boy, the ex-dope boy, the ex-3-time felon, the Rikers Island alumni, C-74 Mod 3 upper, facing 3 years of life in prison at 18 years old, locked up in Riverside, New York for a quarter kilo of coke and a loaded .38 handgun. In my real life. But now I own assets. Over 20 million to be exact. Black-owned schools. The J. Morrison Academy. Why we keep complaining about the school system don't teach us financial literacy. The school system don't teach us real estate, business, and credit. The school, they, what they ain't do for us. 5 years ago, I said, well, I'm going to create for us and take the power to our own hands and do for us what we can do for ourselves. J. Morrison Academy, the Inc. 500, number 588 fastest growing companies in the country. Number 13, top educational companies in the country. Black owned. Over 80,000 students educated. 11th grade high school dropout. No college education. Own my own school. Historic real estate funds. The Tulsa Real Estate Fund. The first black-owned real estate fund in the history of America. Woo! Nearly $8 million raised from 9,498 investment partners. Tref Life. We created a real estate fund, the first black-owned real estate crowd fund in the history of America, that allowed us to pull our dollars together with a $500 minimum investment to have equity and ownership in our company. Not a donation, not a GoFundMe, not a collection plate. I'm talking about that Garvey shit. I'm talking about group economics in real life. I'm talking about Black Wall Street in real life. We call it black magic. I put away childish things, adopted some new habits. No more saying nigga and bitch, man. We passed that. How long will we keep slave talking for? We run around trying to elevate ourselves, but constantly speaking a language of degradation. How can we elevate, my nigga, when all you hear all day, my nigga, that you a bad bitch? Shorty. How can you elevate past that language? Imagine if all of us, it cost us nothing, adopted, call each other kings and queens all day. You say, well, damn, she ain't the queen, though. And she'll never be one unless you sow seeds into her, king. The black woman is the most disrespected, the black and brown woman, the most disrespected, most neglected, most unprotected woman on the face of the earth. But if that black or brown woman is not protected, king, if she's not respected, king, whose fault is that? Whose fault is that? It's not an Asian man's fault if a black woman is not protected or respected. It's not a Russian's man's fault. It's not a European's man's fault that an African woman's not respected. That's on our watch. It costs us nothing to call that woman queen every day till she feel like one. It costs you nothing. And queen, it costs you nothing to call yourself queen as well. You could be a bad queen the same way you call yourself a bad bitch. That easy. And you can stay away from kings that ain't adopt the language for you yet. If you don't like how he treats you or how he respects you, stop dealing with him then. Starve him out. Let you come around then, queen. We ain't blowing cash on new shiny things, man. We past that. We call that sleepwalking. We ain't got to keep blowing our money on liabilities. I'm going to give you the game today on how we beat poverty. I'm not going to stand up here and just inspire and motivate, and you go home pumped up and have no fucking idea what to do. Excuse my language, I don't curse much. I'm very, very it's so hard being a corporate executive, but I'll come off the corner, 3rd and Center Street, 10th and Springfield, North New Jersey. I want to talk my shit real quick, please. Please. They got me all cooped up in this corporate box. I can't really, you know what I'm saying? I gotta talk my shit sometimes. Cause I worked hard in my real life, so dope from 15 to 25 years old in my real life. I sat on Rikers Island with no bail, facing 3 years to life in prison at 18 years old. In my real life. Went upstate New York cutting down trees for 13 cents a day. In my real life. Came home from prison, learning from trappers in jail how to trap better. Took 2 months off when I came home, right back to the block. Right back on Harlem, 138 from Broadway, Pio Juanito, the professionals. Down my block too. Down my block too. Down my block too, OG. Down my block too. Got caught up drug trafficking in Maryland, Cumberland, Maryland. Cops legally searched my vehicle. I was facing 15 years in prison. I walked away with 18 months in prison in Maryland. Secret indictment in New Jersey. Served 2.5 years in prison in 7 different states. 3 different states, 7 different prisons. In my real life, before age 21. Came home from prison, was on bail in New York. Excuse me, parole in New York, bail in New Jersey, bail in Maryland, still trapping. Get rich or die trying. In real life. Until 25 years old, where I said, damn, all this hustle, all this charisma, all this energy, and all you ever did was feed the block? Are you a true hustler or are you a drug dealer? Because a true hustler could hustle anything. Only a drug dealer can sell drugs. So I had to elevate my game one morning, post 2005 in North New Jersey on South 10th and Springfield. I was moving 30 bricks a day of heroin. Supply in my corner. But my same daughter, Anna, who's going to one of the top 20 colleges in the country right now, she was born while I was in prison as a teenage dad. My same daughter was turning 7 years old and I had to ask myself, what are you really doing where she can be proud of you? Secondly, where are you going to be when you're 30? And she's 12. As a 3-time felon with only drug skills. So I knew that I only would be dead or in jail. So I had to make some life decisions and try my hustle in another space. And so over the last 15 years, I put in work in this real estate industry. Doing mortgages, loans, as a branch manager, realtor, celebrity realtor. I was a real estate expert on NBC's Today Show. Imagine that. The ex-dope boy, 3-time felon on the Today Show as a real estate expert. First black man hired by prominent property Sotheby's International Realty, the world's leading luxury real estate company. Developing, investing. Then started our own school. This is my real life. So I tell you all that. The former WIC kid, the former Section 8 kid, the former government assistant kid, the free lunch in schools. I say all that to tell y'all no matter what situation you going through or been through, all that can be changed with some new information. Everybody say new information. New information. Everybody say new education. New education. Everybody say new strategy. New strategy. Everybody say new knowledge base. New knowledge base. That's what changed my life. I just learned some different shit. Think about what you got to go to on a daily basis to make it out here in the Bronx and NYC. Think about the resilience, the persistence that you got to have, the level of astuteness, awareness you got to have to make it in this big city. They say you can make it in New York, you can make it where? Anywhere. You can make it in New York, you can make it where? Anywhere. You damn sure can make it in the real estate industry. Right? You damn sure can build some assets for yourself. You damn sure can start a business. But the same way you learned over your lifetime to maneuver through the streets of New York, you got to learn how to maneuver through the financial industries. See, that's all that's missing. What I'm going to show you today, I'm going to give us 4 steps on how anybody can get your access to $10,000, which is a good number, 10 racks, 10 stacks. We all know that number. We all know that 10 stack number. I just need 10 G's, y'all, and be all right. 10 G's. 10 G's, and I'm on. Well, I'm going to show you how to work that 10,000. I'm going to show you how to get that 10,000. Then I'm going to show you how to work that 10,000 into $1 million in assets for your last name. Y'all with that? Yeah. Y'all with that? Yeah. We're going to do it in our real life. When I spit those words, when I talk about no more crab in the bucket, and I'm talking about, when I say me, I'm talking my shit, yeah. As far as trappers go, I made millions without rapper sports. We don't only got to go that route to make the kind of capital that we want to make. There's other options for us other than the streets, rap, and sports. We actually can do other shit, you know that? And do it well. But if it ain't me who's the best at it, ain't no ego. If it's another king or queen in a community that's going to lead by example, that's going to show love, I'll salute them. I'll follow them. Because it's not about me. I came here and I greeted every one of y'all. I want to show you what black love looks like in the flesh. What humanity looks like in the flesh. I do this out of I'm not religious, but I do this out of the spirit of Christ. Somebody that served others. Somebody that washed his disciples' feet. Somebody that was the man, but was a humble as the man. I do it as the spirit of Malcolm. Malcolm X, who taught and preached in these streets. I believe in being a man of the people and for the people. So when y'all see me, I just want to show you an example of what this love looks like. And an example and a blueprint for how we can all succeed as what we call CEOs for our last name. So as we begin, I know we wide. I tried to move the board back. Anybody wants to come in, there's spaces in here. If you want to get close, because you want to be intentional about making sure you get the most of this game, I would recommend you go bust a move. Because too many of us always want the plug to come to us. Hey, bro, when you coming up? When you coming to me? Come get the game. Let it be a Beyonce concert. You front and center. We need a little elbow.
All right, bet. Sitting, standing. Sitting, standing.
All right. So we're going to have a little bit of buffer. We're going to have right there, this line right here is the supporting line. Everybody got to be equal to or behind this line right here. You have to get on the step. Unless you want to sit on the floor, Indian style, with a chair. Or you have to make sure everybody can see it. It's unfortunate.
Yeah, everybody's down.
Yeah, it's not working for the cameras.
All right. The live can't see.
Yeah, we can't see.
Everybody take a seat. Keith, make some room, please. Aaron, chairs in the front.
I'm trying to ask them what happened right now.
I apologize. I ain't the best boy.
No.
My bad, King. My bad.
Hands above me.
Are we all good? Are we all good? Who said no? Why you not good?
Yeah.
We good. You can get up and leave and get somebody your seat, man. You're not satisfied. All right, let's get into it. So this is going to be an interactive class. I'm going to need y'all to rock with me. We're going to dive into a real blueprint today. We're going to learn something that no one ever taught us in our lifetime. You're going to learn more in the next hour than what you learn in grade school, K through 12, what you learned in college, and what most of us got at home. So we're going to break this down. So I'm going to need you guys though to give me some energy back. So we're going to start like this. First and foremost, when I say hope man, y'all say hope man. Hope man.
Hope man.
Hope man.
Hope man.
Hope man.
Hope man.
Yeah, that's me. All right, so first and foremost, we're going to talk about building intergenerational family wealth. Not one generation, but multiple generations of family wealth. See, generational wealth just means you got it for your lifetime. Intergenerational means you set it up for your kids' kids. Or what we call our heirs. So, as we break into this, let's define as a family what the hell is wealth. What are we chasing? What are we after? What is it? What is wealth, family? Freedom, independent, credit, assets. What is wealth, Bronx? All right, this is what we're going to do. We're going to learn together right now. We're going to split this class in half. Everybody on the left side of this camera right here, everybody on the left side, you're going to be the B. Everybody on this side, y'all going to be the X. Y'all got it? B side, make some noise. Yo, X, turn up. Hey, B, I'm going to give y'all another shot at it. Because y'all ready for it. Hey, B, make some noise. X, one more again. All right, let's learn this together. We can't accomplish, we can't chase, we can't obtain something we can't define. How are we going to build family wealth and we as a people can't even define family wealth? So let's break it down like this. What is wealth? Wealth is, I need my B side to say, an abundance of assets. I need my X to say, that supersede liabilities. X, that was whack as hell. X, one more time, that supersedes liabilities. And everybody say, and debt. So wealth is an abundance of assets. What's abundance mean? Everybody say a lot. Everybody say a lot. Everybody say overflow. Everybody say overflow. Not yet. Not you. Everybody get up for Vanna Black. Y'all ain't get that. Some of y'all too young. All right, so we talk about having an overflow, an abundance, an overflow of assets. Now, Vanna Black turn. What are some assets? What are assets? Let's define assets. Assets, land, real estate, stocks, bonds, precious metals. That's precious metals. Gold is precious metals. Things that hold or appreciate in value. What's appreciate mean? Everybody say go up. What's depreciate mean? So we buy them Rolls Royce trucks, we drive them off the lot. What do? They go down in value. Let's talk about that. Don't even click it. Just be ready. No. We're going this way. So we need an overflow of assets, an overflow of real estate. Businesses are our asset. Stocks, precious metals, things that hold and go up in value. But see, my people, I ain't say just getting a bigger bag. See, it's not just the abundance of assets. So, Mike, what happens is we get a nice advance check. We get a real estate flip. We get that student loan refund. We get that lawsuit money. We get that income tax refund money. We get some assets, but then soon we get some more assets, what we do? We spend that shit. So wealth is not just you getting assets. That's one half of the equation, my people. It's not just you getting a bag, but it's how you control that bag and have an overflow of those assets that supersede. What does supersede mean? Everybody say surpass. Everybody say beat out. So we need an abundance and overflow of things that hold and go up in value, that beat out things that are liabilities and debt. What are liabilities? Name some. Let's name some liabilities. Cars. Clothes. That student loan debt. That loud bill you got. You thought because I got corporate, I don't know. Them happy hour martinis you got. Things that go down in value, expenses. So what we saying, if we want to build family wealth, is that we got to be intentional. Everybody say intentional. What's intentional mean? Say it again. Everybody say on purpose. Everybody say on purpose. So that means we got to be on purpose. We got to build more assets, an overflow of them, King, that supersede all the money we spending on all liabilities. So we got to put legacy over the liabilities. So what we do, we get more money, and because many of us come from below the poverty line or from struggle or check to check, the first thing we want to do is show everybody in the community that I came up. So look at my things, look at my cars, look at my bags, look at my belts, look at my vacation. All these liabilities to prove to everyone that we done came up, but then we broke and have no assets for our heirs. Because we so focused on the wrong things. We want to impress the Joneses, but our last name ain't Jones. So, what we got to do in building family wealth, first and foremost, somebody has to be intentional as what we call the CEO for our last name. What CEO mean? Say it again. One more time. For those who don't know, they're saying Chief Executive Officer. The CEO, here's what they do though. The CEO, I need B to say leader. Leader. B say leader. Leader. X say and visionary. The CEO of the organization is the leader and visionary of the organization. The CEO is the one that has his or her head up, looking at the future success of the organization. So where are them Morrisons going to be in 2025? In 2045? In the year 3000, when I may be dead or gone, what assets will the Morrisons have? I'm thinking about the future of my last name. See, in an organization, there's a such thing called the COO, or Chief Operating Officer. The Chief Operating Officer has his or her head down, focused on the day-to-day maintenance of the business. But the CEO is the one that's looking at the future of the organization. So in order for us to build family wealth, somebody got to step up to say, hey, I'm going to be the one, the patriarch, the matriarch, the leader and visionary for my last name to make sure that we straight moving forward in life. So if you inherit assets, no one left you abundance. It's up to you to leave your family abundance in this lifetime. If your heirs grow up with the same hand that you were dealt, that means you were a poor CEO and a weak leader for your family. That's on you, King. If you had all the parties, all the bottles, all the sparkles in the club, all the vacations, all the H and Louis belts, and all liabilities, but if you died today, you got to ask yourself, what will my heirs get if I died today? King, if you could say to yourself right now, God forbid you got hit by a bus, a stray bullet, or caught a heart attack. If you die today, are your heirs prepared? If not, that means you got some intentional work to do, young king, young queen. Because that's your job as a CEO and visionary. On three, everybody scream your last name. 1, 2, 3. Yeah. For that last name. Who here is willing to be intentional and be that new family leader for your last name? Raise your hand. I need y'all to say, I will. I will. I need y'all to say, I do. I do. This is our job. So what I'm going to give you right now, I'm going to give you the blueprint on what you have to do first and foremost to benefit your last name. So the first thing we got to do, we have to focus on legacy over lifestyle. We know what lifestyle is, but let's define legacy. What's legacy? What you leave behind, what else is legacy? What you created, what else is legacy?
Generational wealth.
Generational wealth. Let's define it like this. I need the B to say the amount of assets. B, wake the hell up. The amount of assets and money. I need X to say one leaves behind for their heirs. X, one more time. One leaves behind for their heirs. Legacy is the amount of assets and money we leave behind for our heirs. See, what I'm teaching us as a community, and I'm putting the pressure on everybody. Radio knew about this, blogs knew about this, black media knows about this. They know what I'm doing out here. But they had their feelings about me. That real shit hurt feelings. So I ain't out here shucking and jiving. I'm out here feeding the people. This ain't no turkey giveaway dope boy story. I'm going to teach you how to feed your family for a lifetime. So we talk about legacy, the amount of assets and money one leaves behind for their heirs. I'm talking about you setting up and prioritizing, being intentional to set your family up, the next generation up, in a way that you may have not been set up. Because if you don't do that, you put the pressure on your kids to do it. How lame is that? Think about it. You hearing this message right now. If you don't tap in and come under this tree, under these teachings, under this philosophy, and you don't create assets for your heirs, that means you left your babies to create for themselves what you are not willing to do for them in this lifetime. That's lame shit. Because you want the party club and bullshit and not get focused. So let's say it together. Legacy is the amount of assets, and money. One leaves behind. Let's scream this out. For their heirs. For their heirs. We got to stop seeing our children as just kids. A bill. Oh, you got to 18, you out of this motherfucker. Nah, these your heirs. They gonna carry on your legacy. This ain't about disciplining and just directing and spanking and punishing and get out of my house. This is when I die, you carry on all my shit. So I gotta know enough as the CEO for my last name to prepare my heirs to carry on my assets. Are you prepared to teach your kids about how real estate, business, and credit run? Yes. Are you prepared? Yes. You're in the right class today. So we define wealth. We define what that leader, that CEO is. We define legacy. Now I want to give you this blueprint. This shit is so magical. I mean, this is the poverty blueprint. I cracked the code. Like, this was so dope about it. Your brother went into the corporate America 15 years ago. Got into mortgages, real estate, business. I made $2,500 my first 9 months. Was borrowing money from my mom to pay my mortgage. I had a 93 Mercury Grand Marquis with the driver's side door handle missing. I had a shoestring holding my glove compartment together, mice. I was driving to work every day. This is in 2005. I was driving to work every day playing Young Jeezy Thug Motivation on a portable DVD player so my car had a CD player. Grinding. Parking my car around the corner going to see clients. And after 9 months in this industry, leaving the streets, I didn't know how to send an email in 2005. They're like, you gotta set your email up. I'm like, email? We got trap phones. Goddamn email. But I really tapped in. I really immersed myself in the business to give myself a shot to see if all my talents, all my energy went into this space. What could I do? In 9 months, I was ready to give up. I was ready to quit. I started calling back for prices. I said, yo, what's up, Uptown? What's prices? What's the things? In a month, I was going to quit. I made $13,000. Closed 7 deals. Next month, made $30,000. 4 months later, I made $93,000. Within 3 years, I made my first $1 million in the real estate industry. Out the mud. So what I learned, though, through this long resume of underwriting deals, fund managing deals, developing, investing, starting businesses, I created multiple multi-million-dollar businesses. But then I learned this game. I'm like, wait, holy shit, wait. This shit easy. This light work compared to where I come from. I need everybody, it's okay if you stream this. I want you to stream, that's fine. To our live stream, Facebook, share this. This the shit that gotta go viral. This will save the whole hood. In every hood. That's why we've been to 13 cities this year. This is our 62nd corner class in 4 years. 28 cities, 62 classes. In a 24-hour corner class in Westside Atlanta on Lee and Abernathy, we taught 12 classes in 24 hours from 6 a.m. to 6 a.m., 24-hour shift on the block. In real life. Let me show you how this going to change your whole family dynamic. You ain't never thought about money like this. Nobody ever gave you this game in your lifetime. Let me show you these RBCs. So this blueprint to how we build family wealth and how we beat poverty is like this. First and foremost, it starts with this intimate understanding. I need everybody to write down understanding. Everybody say that, understanding. Understanding. Everybody say education. Education. Everybody say information. Information. And everybody say knowledge base. Knowledge base. Listen, there's no beating this right here. Why the wealthy can be the wealthy. Why they can pass down family wealth. Why they can gentrify our hoods. It's simply because they know more than us. They know more about investing than us. They know more about business than us. They know more about underwriting a deal than us. They know more about credit than us. So the things that we scared of, they know we back off of the same properties because we see a blighted property, but they know how to do due diligence and evaluate it and take it down or finance it or syndicate it or wholesale it. All these strategies, I'm going to show you the game today. So you got to commit to being educated. It's no getting around the shit. If you're not informed, if you're not educated, if you don't build your knowledge base, you can't win in this industry. No matter who you are, you might get a couple dollars hustling here and there, but you can't create $1 million empire or assets for your last name. So the first part to that knowledge base is this. I want to show you all the credit game. The credit game is how you can put your family on. Everyone can put your family on, stay on, and if you fall off, bounce back. This is how we beat poverty. In credit, and what we teach in the J. Morrison Academy, this brand new curriculum that we launched, that you guys are going to have access to for the low family prices, family tuition. What we understand is that first and foremost, all credit, everybody say can be rebuilt. Everybody say rebuilt. Rebuilt. Everybody say restored. Restored. Everybody say repaired. Repaired. And everybody say recycled. Recycled. Adopt this new philosophy. Once you understand that credit is not a bad thing, debt is not a bad thing. It's irresponsible use of your debt and credit is a bad thing. It's getting credit cards and credit loans and going to buy things is a bad thing. What we figured out is that whether you got an $8,000 loan or an $80,000 loan or an $80 million loan, if you use your credit to acquire assets, to start businesses, to flip real estate, to buy rentals, to go shoot your shot, but being informed shooting your shot, being educated shooting your shot, not doing it off the muscle you don't even know, not YouTube education. I ain't talking about Instagram education. I'm talking about really tapping in and really learning some shit you know you ain't never learned in your lifetime. If you take that information and education and then leverage your credit to take down and build assets, God forbid an $80 million loan goes bad or an $8,000 loan goes bad. You know what happens? Y'all know what happens? They send you a letter in the mail. If you default on an $80 million loan or an $8,000 loan or an $8 million loan, ain't nobody pulling up on you. Ain't nobody running you down. All they gonna do is send you a letter in the mail. And all credit, no matter how bad your credit is, no matter how bad the default was, King, all credit can be rebuilt, restored, repaired, and recycled. Use that bitch again. Then we went to the next level of the game. What you find out is there another level of credit. Yo, I'm telling you all what the wealthy do. I got some wealthy friends. They sit around these big French chateaus, $10 million friends. building all kinds of shit, trying businesses, failing. You know what they do? They try their personal credit. Everybody say personal credit.
Personal credit.
Everybody say family credit.
Family credit.
Everybody say business credit.
Business credit.
And everybody say credit partners.
Credit partners.
Let me tell you what the wealthy do in real life. We get all in our feelings about credit. I don't care about it. Credit is a paper game the wealthy made up. We don't know that shit. They made this shit up. It's some fake shit. But they know how to use it. We get scared of it like, nah, I don't know, because my credit might get messed up. Listen, I'm coming out of the streets, right? One of my partners, we sell dope together. Now, I'm in real estate. I got my first 3 properties. I'm like, yo, King, come on, grab a property, grab a 2-family, you can live on one side, rent the other one out. He's like, my credit messed up. I'm like, all right, well, listen, get your queen to do it, right? Use your family credit. He's like, nah, but if it don't go right, it's gonna mess her credit up. I said, King, you